Hi, everybody. Welcome to Monday Happy Talk. Today, we're going to talk about inner aliveness and what that means for our living, our situation in life in general. Like, does what does it mean to be a spiritual person? What does it mean to live from your heart? When we live from our mind energy, which is, we can call it ego, we can call it mind energy, we can call it mind programming. A lot of times when we have a timeline, let's say we have a timeline right here. We're in the middle of the timeline. That's now. In the past, we have experienced something. Somebody hurt me, somebody said something, somebody did something. Or a parent, when I was a kid, would be programming certain things into our system. They would do that based on their pain, based on their programming, which came from their parents, unconsciously came from their parents, and then their parents, and then their parents back in time. So the fear that, for example, I received as a kid, when certain things were said to me, somebody said to me, you're bloody worthless, right? Or even using the other worst word, right? You're effing worthless. When I was about, I don't know how old I was, maybe 5, and somebody yells that in your face, and it's your parent, it's easy to believe that that's who you are. It's easy to have a mind programming saying, yeah, I guess I am, right? So, because our only knowledge of who we really are can come in a reflection from our parents. Now, of course, when we reach into heart and we reach into nature, we realize that that wasn't true. But sometimes the mind program can be pretty powerful. And until we know that we reach deeper, to reach into heart, until we know that, we will live with mind programming. And there's going to be a part of me, or there was a part of me, that was fighting against I'm worthless, damn it, I'm worthless. So whenever I met somebody who meant something for me, if I met a relationship, I almost right away knew that once they find out that I'm worthless, they will leave. So I did everything I could to make sure they wouldn't find out that I was worthless. So, and that's programming, that's mind programming from when I was a kid, not now, right? So when I can release the past and move into this moment of nowness. So when I live in this now, it turns out that heart is only aware of now. Heart energy is intuitive and it stays with us now. So much like an animal who's out in the woods, they don't live in the past. They don't go around worrying about, I wonder if the winter will happen this year because it happened last year and it was horrible. Maybe it'll be just as bad this year. They don't stress themselves out that way because their minds haven't been formed the way the human mind did. So, and in some ways, the human mind is beautiful. It's a blessing in many ways. But what has happened as we have gotten sucked into other ways of thinking and energy fields, mind is not a beautiful thing anymore. Mind can be a curse for many of us, creating a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of baggage that we keep pulling with us like that big sack of every day, all the time. And when we are pulling the past with us, either the message from my parents saying you're worthless, or, if the message, people will always let you down. You can't trust people. They will always lie or cheat or whatever it is you think is always the case. Guess what? You're going to keep repeating that. Which means we're living in the past, and or even worse, we're bringing the past into each now all the time. So we are recreating whatever pain we felt 10 years ago, 5 years ago. We are recreating that now, over and over and over all the time. So until we realize and recognize that our own mind is the main culprit, our own perception of the world is the main culprit on why we are in pain now, we will not find release. Now, there is a lot of stuff that gets stuck in our body too, in our energy system, in our bodies. That needs to be cleared. And personally, I have found that I needed both Reiki sessions and then shamanic healing. And that stuff was like dynamite for my energy. It really, really works. Now, nowadays, I do that for other people too, and it's a beautiful experience. It's just incredibly beautiful. But for me, it's not enough to only realize that the past is a problem, that the now is a solution. There's also a part of me that needed the energetic cleansing and clearing that happens in these healing processes. So when we move into the now, see, heart and heart energy, it lives on the magnetic energy field of our world and on multidimensionality. So heart energy picks up on signals that our eyes don't see, that our ears can't hear. The heart picks up on stuff that we don't know. And once we begin to listen to our heart, we begin to connect with, we almost learn how to communicate with the heart. We hear our hearts, and we can read and hear the signals that come from our hearts. And they can be images, they can be feelings, they can be, oh, hang on, I feel like that's something. It can be a thought, anything like that is ways for the heart to communicate with us. And as we begin to communicate more with the heart, we also actually learn how to decipher and feel what it's saying to us. But for so many years in our society, heart is not encouraged, right? We're very, very, very left brain people. Left brain being the right side of your body, being controlling the right side of your body. Left brain, we say, is always, that's ego, that's in the box kind of thinking. That's how our society has evolved, right? Like we go to school, so we learn how to how to fit in. In school, we don't really learn how to think for ourselves. We don't really learn how to see the truth about things. We learn how to see the truth somebody else wants us to see. We learn how to fit into a system that's already in place so that we won't cause too many waves, right? And then, of course, be it a conspiracy or not, we are still learning to not listen to ourselves, and we're taught to listen to what somebody else says. So I'm encouraging you to find your way into your heart, to find your way into what you feel, what you want to do, who you are. And the beauty with that is that when we find our way into a spiritual sense of being, raising our inner vibration, we start to create our own world from an energy field. Instead of coming from fear and mind, we come from an open heart place, an open heart, then we start to open doors we didn't even know were there. So living in the field of heart energy, that's bringing us into the future. It's aliveness, it's movement. So when we have that timeline, when we're still living in the past, bringing the past into the now all the time, based on past judgments, negativity, fear, we keep our minds closed, and we are never able to see anything except for the tiny, tight road that we're on. But as we can put down our blinders, and as we can open up for life, for the beauty and the energy of life itself, we start to react and live from the moment. Not based on the past, but based on now. And when we do, we begin to soar. We begin to create a new, beautiful future for ourselves. And when we do, we lift our own inner vibration, and then others, it's the same thing, when you see somebody who's doing really well in life, you're like, oh, they're doing so good, they feel so good, they look so good. You feel like you want to do good too. So on both a very real level and on a quantum physical level, when you start raising your vibration, you raise the whole field, quantum physically and in your regular day-to-day life. And when you raise your field, you end up helping others to feel better too. It's a beautiful experience. All right, thank you for joining in this talk. There are lots of meditations out there. This is one of the happy talks. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful, mindful day. And make sure you do your meditation practice. It's going to help all of these things that I talk about to come true. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Namaste and aho.